we have democracy. We have votes.
Well, I think we've agreed we don't have democracy.
Well, so
Yes.
when that doesn't work, what do you expect the people to do? Even when they think it doesn't work, it might work, but the fact they think it doesn't work anymore, well, eventually you'll get to violence, because what else can they do? And it's the object of the government to ensure it never gets to that. And that's why we need governments who are making sure the people are heard, the people feel like they're being heard. A bit like the criminal justice system. Not only does justice have to be done, it has to be seen to be done.
Yes. Yeah.
And we've got politicians at the moment who are not making us see that democracy is being done in this country, because no one feels it is being done. So therefore we think it's not being done, and violence will always get to violence if people are unhappy, always.
There's an interesting, I was just, as you're talking now, and yeah, I mean, you say violence is the answer, but we've just seen in Bangladesh it is the answer. Is it Bangladesh you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, it depends what you mean by the answer, as in, is the answer...
It got the result.
It got a result. Will Bangladesh be any better the next day? No.
I don't know.
No, Bangladesh has always been a third world country and will always be a third world country. It'll always be full of corruption, and swapping one criminal leader for the next criminal leader you elect will change nothing. So hence why those countries are in that cycle, like most of Africa. It's that violence of overthrowing. We don't have that in Western Europe, and when we do have it, it's once in several hundred years. That might happen. French Revolution, the end of Nazi Germany, the Spanish Civil War. No, these are one-offs in these countries that may last for hundreds of years before it ever gets that.
But I think what I was saying is, I think there's a commonality here, and I was reading about the Boston Tea Party, and the Boston Tea Party, which was the beginning of the American War of Independence, basically, wasn't it? That happened. The reason the Americans revolted at that point was because taxes had been imposed on tea or something like that. And it wasn't the fact taxes were being imposed, it was the fact they didn't have the right to vote.
Yes.
So they couldn't vote for or against the taxes.
Those taxes were about representation.
Correct, representation. And I think what is a great truth is, if you don't have representation, if a large number of people do not have representation in a community, in an environment, it ends in violence, in civil war, basically. And we go back to the fact we've agreed, and I think we're agreeing on this. This is not a democracy. The people now do not have representation of what they, even though they're voting or appear to have representation, they don't, do they?
No.
The people on the streets, the majority of people in this country, and don't forget, only 9 million people voted for Labour, which means how many didn't vote for Labour?
Yep.
Must be 30 million people didn't vote for Labour. 30 million people in this country do not have representation, and the grubby electoral process here doesn't allow them to have representation either. And when you don't have representation, it ends like it is now, doesn't it?
American Civil War is a good reference for this. The Americans did not want independence. They just wanted representation if they're paying taxes.
Yeah.
And the British government wouldn't give it to them.
Yes.
And treated them as criminals. And we then sent the army over. We tried to beat them down, and there was battles. It was only at that point then the Americans then went, we need to go for independence here now. Everyone before that point called themselves Englishmen. They were English. They'd all come over from here. They didn't want independence. They wanted to be under the monarch. They wanted to be English, remain English, but they were treated unfairly by the government, who didn't listen to their concerns.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening now.
That's exactly what's happening now.
Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.